Welcome everyone. This is Big Chill Chat. I am your host, I God Slayer, and this is your OSRS based podcast. So there really hasn't been a lot in for the news lately. For RuneScape, really haven't seen much. Some game jam stuff, and some stuff about the RuneFest, which, to be honest with you, I'm more focused on the gameplay itself. That stuff is cool. It's awesome. If you guys want to do that, hit it up, look that stuff up. But I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to do anything with it. So instead, I'm just going to kind of go right into today's topics and what I've been doing. And what I've been doing currently is still working on the TOA till Shadow. I am purpleless right now for quite a while. Not very happy about that, but what can you do? It's the name of the game, right? You can go so many dry. I think I was talking to someone, and another raider had gone 100 KC dry, running 400s at TOA. Now that's just crazy to me, because 400s are about a 10% chance. I mean, if you think about it, he should have had, at that point, 10 purples in that amount of KC. So, it can happen. Going dry like that can happen. So that's what I've been working on the main. The hardcore iron, I've been working at Wintertide. I believe I hit 80 fire making the other day. It's kind of just setting up so that way once I leave Wintertide, I can actually explore and do more parts of the game. Kind of quest that one up, because that's a huge part of this game, especially early game for Iron Man, is quests. So I'm going to be focusing on that after Wintertide. Probably get, I don't know if I'm going to go straight to 99. I'm going to at least hit 92. I might go to 99. Not entirely sure. It's kind of nice to be able to switch back and forth. And that's kind of one of today's topics too. It's like, how do you avoid the OSRS burnout? Because that happens, right? Especially when people are going for maxing. You're doing some of the board skills. And really, it's kind of ironic, but it's definitely something that I think is funny, is to avoid the burnout, in my personal opinion, it is to create an iron or a new account, and kind of, when you're doing the boring stuff on your main account, do the exciting stuff on that new account. Whether it be questing, whether it be, obviously questing to some people isn't exciting, but to me it is. Whether it be questing or, level that up so you can do certain bosses while you're doing, boring stuff on the main, or do the boring stuff on the new account you made while you're doing exciting stuff on the main. It kind of gives you that, like, you're constantly doing something that you find fun. And that's what you're playing the game for. We're all playing this game for what reason? To have fun. That and probably our crippling addictions. But, definitely to have fun. So, that would be my suggestion. I've had so much fun starting Hardcore Iron Man. Even Wintertide, like, it's kind of interesting to sit at Wintertide knowing, like, one death and, like, I lose that status. So, like, I think that makes it more of a challenge, and I think that makes it more exciting for me. Just knowing that, like, I can mess up at any moment and lose my hardcore status, and I know I'm going to eventually, but, like, I want to see how far I can get without dying. I'm hoping, my hope is to hit close, if not the 2K totals, before I do die on the hardcore. So, we'll see. Fingers crossed on that one. The other topic I wanted to go to today is something that, obviously last time we talked about, what are some of the best bosses to solo in the mid game. And then, I came up with Barrows, Moons of Peril, Zulrah, Muspa, and Vorkath. Now, there's other things you can do to kind of get yourself out of that mid game, and you can do these solo. Now, in my opinion, the best to get out of mid game and start working towards end game solo content, or stuff that you can do solo, would be TOA. And of course, I've been sitting there for a while now, so I kind of wanted to go over a progression of what you should do for TOA, where you should aim, some mile markers to hit, things that helped me progress from running, entry mode all the way up to 350, 400. I can run 400, it's a pain. I'd rather just do 350s because it's really chill for me. And that's what I play the game for. I play to have fun and relax, not like sweat and hit 400, 500. Will at some point, yeah, I want to get all the kits, all the transmogs and everything like that because I do have the pet. But in my opinion, right now, I'm chilling at 340s, 350s. Like that's a comfort zone for me. Like I have no problem doing those consistently. 90, I would say 90.9% of the time, I have no problem with them. So I'm gonna actually share my screen, try to make it nice and big for everyone to see that is watching this on the podcast. So let's bring this up. All right. So today we are at TOA. Now, I cleared this completely. Oh, you're not going to be able to see. It blinks it out. Let me see if we can. There we go. Show my screen share. Alright. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to drag it back over here. So, looking at TOA, completely cleared this out. As you can see over here, you do have rewards that you can still get at running no invocations whatsoever. They're the thread and all the jewels. Now, some people will actually run 0 invocation raids to get the jewels because the jewel of the sun is like so crucial for running experts and kind of pushing your limits. If you don't know what the jewel of the sun does, it takes away, I believe, 30 or 40 prayer and 75% spec, and it gives you 118 HP and it cures you of all ailments. So if you're poisoned or venomed, it'll completely cure those. So that's really cool, but you do lose spec and you do lose prayer. It might be 30, 33 or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's huge. So when you're starting this, obviously you're not going to have any of these things. So, in my opinion, one of the things you should first start to do after you get comfortable with the raid is start learning and taking your runs to at least a soft core run. Now see, that will add 15 invo, which means the higher this gets, the more chances of rewards we're going to get. So, you're probably not going to want to run any timers whatsoever. Avoid the need some help, need less help, and need no help. Those are usually for your more advanced rates. Same with walk the path, because it will make those bosses so much harder. Walk the path is great when you're starting to go for your 350 kit, or even push to 400s. Now, that being said, there's also other ones. I would avoid Path Seeker until you're running experts. Same with Pathfinder, and obviously Pathmaster is more of you're really at endgame at that point in time. You have max gear. Obviously, because if you combine these two, yeah, you get 100 for your invocation level, but the bosses are going to have a lot more health. They're going to be a lot harder, and mistakes are going to be punished way more. Quiet prayers. Do not put this info on. Really, I mean, there should be no reason to ever put that on, because you'll get chip damage at every single boss. Now, some bosses will automatically chip damage you, like Akka, Baba, Kefri. When you have the ranger spawn, the ranger will hit you through your protection prayer. But that's kind of small. It's very minimal. Blood Fury really takes care of that, at least in Kefri Room. And Akka, if you learn a thing called Butterfly, which, I would suggest YouTubing when you start, getting comfortable with the raid. Don't do it right off the bat. Don't worry about butterflying. Worry about getting through the raid and learning the mechanics. The next thing I would like to say is Deadly Prayers, which this is a really easy invo. Deadly Prayers, 20% of the damage taken, your prayers is drained that percentage. Um, and but obviously, if you are praying right, this really is free. It's completely. If I'm praying mage and that does a mage attack, I'm not going to lose any prayer other than my protection prayer, which you're already protecting from anyways. On the diet, this one's really easy because you can bring brews and restores. So this is another good one to have on. Dehydration is really once you have Jewel of the Sun. So I would really not touch this until you're in running experts anyways. It's kind of one of those ones where, like, if you're running experts, you're getting good at it, you're only bringing restores, you're not bringing any type of brews or food or anything like that. It's perfect. Overly draining really is, in my opinion, looking at 400 invo plus. Lively Larva. This one's not bad. This one's kind of free. More Overload Lords is kind of a pain until you really understand the raid. But it is also good to learn. But we're going to just keep it off for right now. Blowing Mud is another very, very, very easy invocation. It's one of those that, as long as you're going from corner to middle to corner, and once you understand and learn the raid a little bit more, like, that is super simple to dodge every single time. It's honestly like a free 10 invo points. Medic is a pain. Medic will continuously heal Kefri. I would avoid learning that or using that until you're 3 to 400 range. Aerial Assault. This one, in my opinion, is great to learn because it's super easy. Instead of just walking one tile over, you're going to walk 2. That's it. You can, if you're running, you'll literally go that second tile anyways as soon as you click. So, another easy invo. Not just a head. Zebok, personally, I would learn and run all these. Maybe not upset stomach off the bat, just because the jugs can be positioned wrong. Wait until you learn the jug placement a little bit better, and you'll be able to shoot those jugs as you push them and everything like that. Now the next one we're going to get into is Akka. And these ones here, so Zebak will spawn these little blood pools, almost like you'd see in the Theater of Blood. They'll kind of chase you around. As long as you're, I believe, 2 tiles away from them, you're totally fine. The other thing it'll do is like a blood burst on everyone in the room. If you're not in his enraged phase, you can totally switch your prayer over to Protect from Mage, and it will not whatsoever damage you. If it does, it just heals them for a little bit. It's really not difficult. Then we get into Akka, which is like probably the hardest room in TOA, because it is DPS check after DPS check. But in Akka, Double Trouble is extremely difficult to learn, and master. Keep Back is also difficult to learn and master. Stay Vigilant is great to learn once you understand the mechanics of the room. Once you learn the mechanics of the room, if you have Stay Vigilant on and you learn the butterfly method, you can literally keep him on attacking with melee and being damaged by mage, which makes the room so much easier because you're not taking any damage the whole entire time, if done perfectly. Now, it's going to take a while for anyone, you know, as they start out to get this down pat. But it's definitely a really good invo to have on when you're pushing towards 300, not when you're doing your 150s or learning. Because I'm going to try to show you a way to get to 150 that isn't too difficult. Now, feeling special, in my opinion, is absolutely crucial to learn, and as you get more comfortable with the raid, I would definitely have this on. But for now, we're just going to leave it off. A lot of people that run 150s, 300s plus will have feeling special on. It's super important to learn. So the earlier you learn this, the better. This will also help you push up from 150. But right now, we're going to keep everything from Akka off. Now, the next one is Baba. Mind the gap. Once you understand and gone through that room a few times, as the boulders come down, mind the gap is a free inbuild. And the reason that is, as long as you're not getting hit by the boulders as they come down, you're completely safe. As long as you're making it through those boulders, you're good to go. Gotta Have Faith is also another easy one, but we're going to keep that one off. We'll put that one on, because it'll put us to 125. Jingle Japes, they're really easy too, but we're going to keep them off. Shaking things up, these ones here, in my opinion, kind of save for higher invos. These ones are perfect though to kind of put on to get to your 150, because after that, really, if you're just doing Ancient Haste, you're at 150. You can get every single reward, as you can see it unlocked. Now, if you're not super comfortable with Baba, because it is one of the harder rooms, if you're putting these two on, you're going to have something else on. And honestly, Overclocked isn't too bad. Penetration can be difficult because of the skulls that pop down. If you're not standing in the right place, you can have your prayer go down, and it can smack you pretty hard. Overclocked really isn't too hard because it just actually, when it's charging up its different spells, it just makes it go faster. If you're doing enough damage already to the obelisk, it's not really a problem. Same with Overclocked too. And then Insanity is one of the ones where, in my opinion, it could be used for going for your 350 kit or pushing up to 400s. Provided you get everything else down. That's really kind of a good rundown of getting to your 150s. And I'm going to keep this right here for everyone to see. So, softcore run gives you 3 chances at the fight. After that, anyways, you're probably running out of supplies. No point of continuing. Deadly Prayers, super easy invo. Make sure you switch your prayer right. On a diet, you can't bring anglers in. You can still pre-pop before you go in and bring Ceridon and Brews and Restores. Lively Larva, super easy invo. I mean, it just gives you more agile scarabs. Not a problem in that room. Kefir's Special Dung, you're easily able to avoid that damage. Aerial Assault, your runs on, you're pretty much good to go. Zebok, in my opinion, is one of the easier bosses until you get higher. Akka, avoid until you're more comfortable with that room, because it is one of the more difficult rooms in TOA. Mind the Gap, such an easy invo. Gotta Have Faith. And then Jungle Japes and Shaking Things Up can be replaced with any of these ones down here. And you'll just have to put one of these on. Usually Acceleration is kind of a good little setup here. But if you ever have any questions on this part of it, feel free to reach out to me in Discord. It's discord.gg/bigchill. From here, we're going to actually kind of go on to pushing up to 300s if anyone is interested in that. But this is kind of how I would do it from here. So you've mastered your 150s. You've gotten really comfortable with it. Chances are you're probably doing it in a timer, but we're not going to worry about timers yet. So one of the things you can do from here is, when you've mastered it pretty well, is go to a hardcore run. It's 10 more invos, but you only get one chance at surviving. Now, we're going to not need some help at all at this point in time. Now, if you're getting really good at doing that, I would also push up to Path Seeker, which gives every single boss a level 1 as soon as you enter. Perfect, right? I mean, they're just a little bit harder, got a little bit more HP, you get a little bit better chance of a reward. Still going to avoid dehydration, still going to avoid overly draining. And quiet prayers, obviously. Don't. Really, this one is not used until way later on. More Overlords is another perfect invo to throw on at this point. Another thing you should really get used to is upset stomach, feeling special, stay vigilant. Right now you're already at a 240. And then you're going to add the rest of these. Now you're still not quite at a 300 yet. So at this point you have two options. One of the options would be take Path Seeker off and learn Walk the Path, which puts you at a 315. Really not that bad at that point. If you're able to get through this without any problems, you can get through this without any problems. Now, if you're able to start getting through this without a timer, or in the time in 40 minutes, start adding the timer, start adding the +1, and then from there, you can kind of judge what you want to do. Boulder Dash could be another good one to get you up to your 350 at this point. Or learning Insanity and dropping some of the other invos. I mean, you could drop this and also get Boulder Dash. Or, it's just whatever you're comfortable with. Need Some Help is also another good way to get up to 350 at this point. In my opinion, those are the kind of passive progression that you want to learn. If you need to, it really works to learn, make sure you're pushing your timer. If you're comfortable with supplies, run Need Some Help. If you're comfortable with the bosses themselves, look at Walk the Path, look at Path Seeker, because they'll make it a little bit harder, but if you're able to get them down, you're good to go. Look at adding different invos to each one of these bosses. Boulder Dash is one of those ones where, it's definitely a pain to add, but so isn't Keep Back or Double Trouble. They're not impossible to do, it's just get comfortable with that room, especially once you hit 300 plus. And for me, this right here is one of the ones I like to run. I'm super comfortable with this. This is my chill raid. I usually finish it in 34 minutes. That's why I don't have my other timer on for 35, because sometimes I do go over that. But it's super easy. The only thing I ever do every once in a while is pop this on. I'm at a 405, and like I said, that's a 10%, so it's really nice at that point. But that to me is more sweaty, because that makes Wardens a lot more difficult, a lot more click intensive, and just I play to have fun. I don't play to sweat it out all the time. Do I want to get drops? Absolutely, but I think a 6% is a good chance. It's like a 6.4% chance out of 355 to get a purple. And that's solo, obviously. And all this can be done solo. It can be done in teams. It's probably great to have people to run with, because they'll give you all the different Runelite plugins, and there's a bunch of those. I do plan on showing those in another podcast. But at this point in time, I just wanted to show the invos and how to go from I don't know how to TOA, I don't know how to raid, I don't know how to endgame, to slowly progressing in just this invocation from running entry to getting your Missouri crafting kit. That's, in my opinion, this is one of the best ways to do it, and that's the way I did it. That's the way I learned. And like, this is super easy now. Like, I can do this pretty much in my sleep now. And I feel like if anyone follows that progression, they will be able to as well. I'm going to stop sharing and open up to the audience. Does anyone have any questions, any comments? Anyone want to come up for a minute before I end the podcast recording? All right. Well, super cool episode today. I'm going to try to keep them right around half an hour for each week, depending on how much news is out there that Jagex releases. Obviously, we still haven't heard much on sailing. I know that was supposed to be kind of released right around this time. I do know at some point they were still working on a lot of things, and obviously with it being a new skill, and there's a lot of pushback and a lot of positive, they need to make it absolutely perfect, or it's going to cause a lot of issues for them in the long run. They won't be able to add more, and they know it. So right now, we just gotta wait for that. While Gothic sleeps, I'm sure it's going to be making its way here soon. I almost want to say it was later this month that it was going to be released. I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely going to be playing on day one. Definitely getting that quest done. Honestly, can't wait to see that quest again. RS3 had it, so it's kind of reused material, but it's going to have new drops. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. So thank you for tuning in to the Big Chill Chat podcast. Everything OSRS based. And if you ever want to join, be part of the audience, or even join the podcast itself, you can reach out to me, iGodSlayer, whether it be in game or on Discord, or you can come to the Discord, which is discord.gg/bigchill. I'll have the links in the description, as well as the link to the YouTube channel and the Spotify, so you can kind of see all of the material that I'm putting out there, whether it be guides, whether it be the TOA Till Shadow, or any of the other podcasts that come out. I'm definitely going to be putting out a lot more things, and I have a guide that's going to be coming out within the next couple of days that I was talking about last week. So look for that, and I got Slayer out.